Hey guys, welcome back to This Side of Awesome. So today is the day I get to show you guys my finished product, my collection room. So it's been a long time coming. I've been moved into this house now for like 2 years, and in the process of unpacking and doing all the rest of the house, and then going through all my boxes of all my collectibles and separating them out and buying more stuff, I've had to literally come up with this whole pattern of what I want to do for this room. So I have 3 rooms in my house. One's a bedroom, one's an office, and then I was like, this one can be my collection room. I've always wanted to have an extra room to be able to do this, and so I do. I would say this room is probably about a good maybe 15 by 10 feet in size. So it's a pretty good size. I notice a lot of people do things like detofs and they just buy the shelves or whatever the case is. In my last place, I had just shelf units and I put things on the walls, but it was like I had an office and I had so many things all combined into one little tiny room. And this one I was like, you know what? I only want my collectibles in here. And instead of doing all this weird shelving stuff that I see people do, I bought the house. I'm going to be here for like 30 years. So if I'm like 70 years old, I might as well just build my shelves onto my walls. And so I wanted to do something different. And I'm very creative, so that's what I decided to do. But in order to do that, you have to figure your genres out. You got to measure all your figures. You got to pull all your figures out that you're going to pull out, measure those, figure out where they're going to go, how many of each thing that you want to put together. And I wanted this kind of puzzle, well, not like a puzzle, but more like a checkboard style display, where everything kind of fits in a certain way, like Tetris, I guess. And so yeah, so I put it together, and you guys have seen possibly my previous videos where I literally have been showing you the room and the stuff and the boxes and what I plan to do, and you saw up until the point where I basically finished my Star Wars collection. I had some more stuff, and my next project I had just actually added in some containers for my Legos. But I was about to put in the shelf unit so that they can sit in a cubby section with a table on top, and then there was going to be a display above that and a display on the other wall. So I've actually done that. I've gone from basically where I last filmed all the way to being finished and decorated, and I've been in here now for a while with it finished. During the pandemic, I had 4 months to basically just haul off and finish this whole project. I actually got my office done, and I basically got my downstairs theater / movie place done. I'll show you that in another video, but today I'm going to kind of give you a tour of what I did, and maybe as an example for you, if you have ideas or maybe you just don't know what to do with a collection, you can actually see kind of what I did. It's not perfect. It's the way I wanted to do it. I wish I would have done something different, like maybe paint the walls a certain color. I was thinking maybe yellow as a backdrop, because I did that in my other room, and I was like, man, I was really impressed. I wish I really had just done it in here, because the white walls kind of make it look blah. The other room, I have a different color, but it really made that room pop for my office. And I thought, man, if I could redo this, I'd paint the walls yellow. But I have I had my sign up, and I was going to film this under a different condition, actually where my film, I guess my show would be filmed. Problem is I have a window behind it. Sorry guys, a window behind it, and the sun keeps coming in and out, and it was throwing off the lighting. And so I did it with this backdrop. It's my closet. Yes, I got these I got these little letter magnets behind me. I found them. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute, to put on a door. I have nothing that I can actually put here because it's a closet. At any rate, guys, so you're gonna see kind of what I did. It's like I said, it's not like a full-on professional thing, but it's artistic, it's different, it displays what I want. Some things that you're going to see that I have on some of these shelf units and whatnot don't actually go where they're at, because I'm in the process of, when I get more stuff, I have to kind of branch out and figure out how I'm going to incorporate things. When you start having a display that you've made for that genre, and then you build upon that thing, and then you're losing space, you have to kind of be inventive and move stuff around. So that's kind of what I'm in the process of doing, and I think I'm going to transfer some stuff out. I'll have a lot of my adult collectible stuff, more kind of upscale, in my office, and I'll show you that when I get to that. But today I'm going to run through this room. You're going to see what I've done. I hope you guys like the end result for the most part, and we'll go from there. So, are you guys ready to check my collectible room out? Here we go. Okay, guys, are you ready? There's a door. We're about to enter it. We're gonna go in and we're gonna check out the room. Look at that. Already, when you walk in the door, you see my room. This side of awesome. How about it now? Right off the break, in the doorway, I've got my little, vintage Star Wars figures here, and some of the what do they call those? Anyways, three and 3/4, right? So you come in and Goonies, never say die. All right, so that's a light source. So I'm gonna go up here real quick. You can see some of my pictures that I got going on there. Shout out to Gen 13. There goes some pretty cool stuff. All right, super girls, super friends. Got some side light going on. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about shelving. Yeah, so I'm gonna close the door so you can see what's going on behind the door. You can see, I'm gonna step back here. I basically took wood from Home Depot, measured it out, cut it out, painted it, and then basically created this, like, thing to hold on different displays. You walk in, behind the door I've got some shelf unit stuff down here, all the way up. All of it's connected either by L brackets against the wall or nailed to each other. Yep. Got some stuff going on down there. I kind of had to put these on the wall. They had, they have the this stuff here basically for like wall pegs. So I just basically took those, boxes. They were on the shelf over here. And I just put them on the wall. Stuff that I'm not going to actually take out. I just put on the wall. I don't feel like taking some of this stuff out. And then, other things that I do take out, like I do take out pop figures. So I want to put them on shelf units. So I've got like my different genres that actually needs to go up here, but I think I'm going to be moving some stuff around. Oh, she actually goes back up there. Hold on a second, that doesn't look right. Let me put her back. Sorry, Shatara. There you go. Now, I'm missing Panthro because now he's like $300, and I don't have Mumra, which I could probably get. At any rate, I'm still kind of extending that. That top board hasn't been attached yet because I keep moving this over, and I still have my Lego Voltron, which is way down here. And these are the rest of my Voltrons that actually go up there, and my Paladins. So I'm kind of on the edge of trying to figure out where I'm going to put that and maybe push it back over here to give myself some room. But see how, like, you have to really measure what you're doing. Like with his sword, I had to stop that wood going across because his sword would have been in where the wood is. So you really have to measure out what you want. Like I have this so high because I've got this picture. I've got this because of the dolls, and I've got the picture there I wanted to put in there. So things that you have, you got to measure. Like for instance, this shelf over here, I have to make higher because Zoltar and ET wouldn't be able to fit in a little tiny shelf. But, then I have the little figures here to go in there, so it's like the big open space. And it's like, well, do I put another shelf? Would it look right? I don't know. There goes the sun again, coming out. And then I basically under here, I've got like displays where I've got my Psylocke, all my Psylocke stuff. Get out the sun. All the Psylocke stuff over here. A little shelf comes out. But then I have all these other figures and things to put on the wall. I've got my Supergirl collection down there, so much so that I've got some sticking out on the floor. But yeah, and then I basically made the little cubby slots for my Lego containers. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I have 2 more, but they're back behind. Actually no, I'm sorry, there are 2 down here. I pushed 1 back, and then I opened this space up so I can put some of my Legos. And then the top section I just use as an extra space. I was going to have more Legos out here, but see how I've put like some of my bigger Lego displays, like my Ewok Village and the throne room, and then I just laid out some of my Star Wars Legos out here. I was going to try and keep going this way when I get more, because I do have some extra stuff. That's my DC Girls display. I'll put some Put some of my Lego movie stuff out here eventually. Some of my DC, but you see how I had to like section off some of these areas. So this is my Supergirl major area, like my Psylocke major area. I mean, it trickles down into this stuff, but I had to make room for that poster, you know. And then, you know, I found this recently. It just so happens that it actually fit that, which is funny. I made this for them, and then that just happened to fit perfectly when I found it. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then there's things like this where I wish I had a little bit more space for my Batman stuff because my Sylvester's sticking out. And then I think I just need to take this out of its box, which is the Batmobile. But, you know, then I've got my Superman section. You know, I had to make this slightly bigger because I bought this for my Aquaman, but that takes up a whole chunk of real estate right there. So you have to really kind of decide, do you want some pictures to be, you know, things that you display? Because if you do, it takes a lot of real estate. As you can see, so like basically I've got like, and I kept these in my packages, so I have to have enough room. I was going to have some other things that were big that were going to be up there. That's why there's so much extra space. And then I've got things like where I've got my Scooby stuff and it's sticking out because I have a lot of stuff, but I'm kind of missing space. I really wasn't trying to put this board up here because there's like these mansions and there's these other play sets, and then, you know, this is basically hanging off the shelf, and I got my Scooby and my Barbie Daphne right there, but they're too big for that shelf. Like if this other one wasn't in the way, I could fit it back there and put more stuff. But when you have more stuff, you just have to utilize that room. And you're like, well, what about this space? Well, because actually I wanted to get the Demogorgon for this. You know, I wanted another shelf unit, so I'm going to have all these extra pops of that show up here. And then there's a Lego plate set that's like ginormous. So you kind of have to give and take on some room that you know of stuff that you're going to get. And most of these shelves were, you know, for the most part, straight across on this wall because there's so many collections that are there. Eventually this is going to have its own shelf because once I add more characters for this, and I still keep adding these characters, they're going to have their own shelf eventually. I'm going to have to keep basically redoing my wall because it changes the outlook. And then, like I said, you know, I use L brackets, so if I'll zoom in real quick, you can see an L bracket right there. And then what I'll do is I'll nail the end here, and on some cases I'll put an L bracket on the end. I don't think that one has it, but for the most part, what I did was I just bought wood, cut the wood to the size, you know, and these right here are basically 3.5 inch, you know, width boards, and I painted them black. You know, I just got some spray paint, painted them black, cut them to length, bought some L brackets. I have an air gun for like little nails, and yeah, just basically measured it out, put it together. Now, this just so happened to measure perfectly to the height of this table that I had put in. And I'll pull the chair back so you can see better. You know, I had it like right at that height, which is perfect. You know, I put these in. I had to put some braces on the insides. I had to put braces actually below them to keep, you know, from these heavy containers from pushing it down, especially on the bottom. But yeah, I came up with a design. You know, sometimes you just have to come up with designs and figure out how you're going to put it. Like, for instance, these are just little shelf units for what I need. I showed you guys these before. You know, I showed you this side. You know, I've basically added some stuff, moved other things around. You know, this doesn't belong here. I'm trying to figure out where to put this stuff. Some of the stuff might not actually go where I have it. Those are things still to be built, those little metal things. But, you know, then I had to be inventive down here with my ships. I had to move my pops over here, you know, and then I don't have anything for my closet. I just have basically, you know, big open space. I thought about taking the closet doors out and actually, like, doing the inside, but I've got so much stuff that I have stored that I have to use it for storage. Unless I, you know, made a storage unit somewhere else, because I don't really have an attic. It's just not big enough to put anything in. I have almost a flat roof, almost. So yeah, so there is basically my setup. You know, I'll come back a little bit. You can see it from a distance how it looks, at least from this corner. Excuse me, guys. You know, you walk in on camera, it looks smaller, but when you're actually physically here, there's a lot of space in the room. You know, there's this big floor space. Like I said, it just doesn't look right on camera, but trust me, there's a lot of floor space. You know, I've got this all set up. You know, you have to be inventive with what you got. You got to measure stuff out. You know, you got to figure out what do you actually want to display. You know, let me close this again so you can get the better picture of it. And then, you know, like I said, it's gonna change over time when you do something like this, because, you know, if you decide you just want detoff, you decide you just want shelves that you just buy, you know, and then, you know, you've got more depth in them as opposed to these shelves are so tiny, you can't really stack anything in front or behind. And maybe that was a negative on my part, but I don't want it too far out into the room, because then it makes the room a whole lot smaller. But then you have to you know, you have to give and take. And I feel like I did a pretty decent job with what I wanted to do. And I just have to be comfortable with the idea that, you know, in the future I'm going to have to move stuff around. Now, just so you know, my room, originally, it was me and somebody else, and I gave them the access to that room. Well, they're no longer here. And basically, with them no longer here, I think I'm going to redo the room. And if I do the room like any of the other rooms that I'm going to show you, or even like this one, I might transfer things like this in there, and I might even put my movie pops downstairs if I'm able to. That way it opens up more space in this room to move stuff around. But it took a while. It definitely took a while. It was a lot of pain and effort. This was not easy. A lot of this was not easy. The back wall, it wasn't so bad. It was just time consuming. I think the worst things about putting this together was really, it was the time and measuring stuff out. And I messed up on certain areas. I had to redo some stuff. And a lot of it's just measure. Guys, I'm telling you, measure 3-4 times. You know, they talk about measure twice, cut once. Well, I usually measure twice, you know, just to double check. But if your calculations are just off, because remember, you remember to do your 3/4 ends if you're going to overlap, because sometimes I really screwed up. And that's not cool. And when money is involved in buying what you need, the wood you need, you know, and then if you put it all together and you don't do it properly, and then you got to pull it all apart, and especially if you're using like a nail gun and not screws, man, that is a pain in the end. Also, doing these top things and cutting, guys, have the proper tools. I'm telling you, I didn't have any tools. Like, really, I had a hammer, a saw, and a screwdriver when I started these projects. Now I probably have everything under the sun. I spent more money in buying tools just to do all these projects. And when I show you the other room, especially my office, you're going to understand why, yeah, if you don't have the proper tools. And I'm going to show you something. My Marvel Legends downstairs, I'm going to show you that, and that was a pain in the ass. So anyways, guys, I'm taking too long on this. I hope you like what you see. You know, I'm going to actually do more of a room tour of what I have in here. I know you probably have seen some stuff and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, like I have a section up here I'm going to add to it, and that's going to be my Star Trek, because I have my Star Trek kind of like stuck right here with my Star Wars, which I don't want. And so, yeah, so I've kind of done my thing. Yes, that is Sleeping Beauty on the ground. Shut up. There's Batman and Superman. At any rate, guys, I hope you like what I've done. It was a lot of fun when it was fun, but I got it together. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy, and you know, there was a lot of tough areas, but if you work hard and you do what you want, you can have a nice looking room like this. So, tell me what you guys think. Anyways, there you have it. Hey guys, so what do you think? It was a massive undertaking. You know, it was a lot of time and blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, it took a lot of effort to get this room kind of where it's at now. Like I said, I wish I could do something with the back wall. But, you know, maybe in the future, if I feel the need to take it all down, or I don't know how I would do it. It would be a mess, though. Anyways, I've got it done. I'm enjoying it. Now, here in the future, like I've mentioned, I was going to, you know, I can do, you know, projects. I can make Legos. I can make, you know, my little models. I can do other things. I can just unpackage. I can do my show in here where I do maybe movie reviews or comic reviews or toy reviews or maybe hauls. And just so that you know, after this video, you're probably going to see a good number of hauls, things that I've picked up. I don't actually do any show material for a little while because I've actually done all these hauls and videotaped them. This is like after I videotaped all those. So you guys are going to basically get the gist of all that I've done in that amount of time that I haven't actually done my tour yet. So look forward to that. There are things that I've picked up, old things, new things, different things, things that might not be within the same category or genre that you might see around here. I try some experimental things out, so just go with me. Anyways, in the next couple of videos, I'm also going to try and throw in there a sprinkle of my office as well as my downstairs. I said, my office has a lot of collectibles, other type of collectibles. I collect things like old video cameras. I collect things like old vintage electronics. I collect weapons. I collect Lamborghini cars. I collect a lot of movies, a lot of books, things from other countries. I also collect my upscale, like my NECAs and my Kodapakaya and all those other type of toy collectibles are in there. And I actually designed the entire room. Basically like this is what I did to my office. But the difference is I bought wood that I actually stained, I beveled the edges, and I literally made it look like a upscale, nice office. Not like this, but kind of like this. So you get to see that. And then downstairs, the last videos I showed you, I was putting shelving up for my DVDs and my Blu-rays. Well, I've done a lot more. I've put carpet down there, couches down there. I built a unit for all my video game consoles. I have a projector. I have a projector screen. I have a display on my wall that was very hard to make. But you'll notice I didn't have any Marvel Legends in here. They're downstairs. Posters on the wall. It's actually pretty cool. So we'll get to that. I'm going to show you those things. But stay tuned, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed what I've done here. And you get to see the other projects that I've done. And maybe get some ideas off of those projects. So if you haven't already, subscribe, comment, like. Remember to click that bell so that you'll be notified every time I make a video. And until next time, guys, thanks for stopping by this side of awesome. I'll catch you later. Bye. What's that?
You call yourself awesome.
I am awesome.